friends, Namaste. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss on Indian banking structure. As per the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, Reserve Bank of India is the primary regulator of the entire banking system in India. As per the RBI Act 1934, the entire banks are classified into two categories. One is scheduled banks and another one is non-scheduled banks. Those banks which are listed under second schedule of RBI Act 1934, those are all called scheduled banks. Those banks which are not listed under second schedule of RBI Act 1934, those are all called non-scheduled banks. What are the features of scheduled banks and what are the features of non-scheduled banks? The scheduled banks, whatever the banks which are listed under scheduled banks, though they can obtain money from the RBI for lending activity. Means if they want of money, then they can approach RBI and RBI will lend money to the listed banks under second schedule of RBI Act. Whereas non-scheduled banks, they cannot approach RBI for want of money. Whereas in the case of scheduled banks, all the banks can participate in the clearing activity. Whereas non-scheduled banks, they cannot participate in the clearing activity. And regarding regulatory requirement like CRR, cash reserve ratio, all the scheduled banks must maintain the CRR component with the RBI only. Whereas non-scheduled banks, the CRR component must be with their bank only. They cannot park that amount with RBI. Is there any existence of non-scheduled banks? Yes, there is an existence of non-scheduled banks. Like local banks. For example, Coastal Local Bank, which is having a registered office at Vijayawada and which is having a presence at, in and around the coastal area of Andhra Pradesh. So these kind of banks are there, local banks. They cannot participate in the clearing activity and they are listed under RBI Act, whereas they cannot be listed under second schedule of the RBI Act. Again, the scheduled banks are divided into two categories. One is commercial banks and another one is cooperative banks. What is the major difference between commercial banks and the cooperative banks? The commercial banks, they get licenses from the RBI, as well as cooperative banks also got license from RBI, but cooperative banks are established under the Cooperative Societies Act, whereas the commercial banks are established under Banking Companies Act. Later it was enacted Banking Regulation Act 1949. Now recently, after PMC Bank failure, then Parliament enacted an amendment to the Banking Regulation Act that cooperative banks also comes under the regulation, comes under the Banking Regulation Act. To avoid failure of cooperative banks and societies, the cooperative banks comes under the umbrella of Banking Regulation Act 1949. Now, there is no discrimination between cooperative banks as well as commercial banks as far as Banking Regulation Act is concerned. Now, there is different type of commercial banks. One is regional rural banks and the second one is public sector banks and third one is private sector banks and the fourth one is foreign banks and the fifth one is payment banks and the sixth one is small finance banks. You know very well about public sector bank and private sector bank and foreign bank as well as regional rural banks. You need to know about the small finance banks and the payment banks. Before we will discuss on small finance banks and payment banks, there are two type of licenses RBI will give for the banks establishment. Those are, one is universal banking license and another one is differential banking license. Whenever an organization or a company or an institution may get universal banking licenses from RBI, means they can establish their banking activities at any place in India. Whereas in the case of differential banking license, means they must confined to a particular area. They cannot establish anywhere in India. They are having for a specific purpose, they obtain license for a specific purpose and they must fulfill that kind of criteria, so that those licenses are called differential banking licenses. The regional rural banks and payment banks and small finance banks, they are not get universal banking license, because regional rural banks, they are confined to cater the services to the rural people, whereas in the case of small finance banks, these banks can cater finance to semi-urban and rural people. And payment banks, this is for payment purpose. See, these are all not at all universal presence. These holds differential banking license. Now we will see what is meant by a small finance bank and what is meant by a payment bank. There was an ideology for introduction of small finance banks and the payment banks. See, in Kenya, M-Pesa is a revolutionary, because they cannot use a physical money. They are using widely the M-Pesa wallets. That M-Pesa is the ideology behind the implementation of the payment banks. The main purpose of payment bank is to improve financial inclusion statistics in India. The main purpose of payment bank is to convert unbanked area into a banked area. Remember, my friends, payment bank never do any kind of lending activity. They are established for a specific purpose. They can accept deposit from the public. They can do remittance activities with the deposits, and they can mobilize small mutual funds, small insurance policies, and like third party ancillary services they can do. But they cannot sanction a credit cards. They cannot even sanction loan against your deposit. Means they are meant for payment purpose. Do you know Paytm Payment Bank, Airtel Payment Bank? These payment banks can be established by any individual, any merchants, any persons. No such kind of discrimination. To establish a payment bank, if you are having 100 crores of capital, then you can easily get a on-tap license from RBI to establish a payment bank. In the case of payment bank, whatever the amount you collected from the depositors, out of the collected amount, 75% of the amount must be invested under government bonds. That is the first criteria. And the second criteria, not more than 25%, they can invest the accumulated deposits in any other scheduled commercial banks. 25% of the entire branches of a payment bank must be established in an unbanked areas. These are the primary criteria for a payment bank. If the payment bank's net worth may exceed 500 crores, then that bank must go for a listing at the stock exchange. These are the criteria for a payment bank. And the most important criteria for a payment bank is the payment bank cannot accept more than 1 lakh rupee from an individual. Maximum ceiling is of 1 lakh rupee. This is about the payment banks. Now coming to the small finance bank. Why there is a need of small finance banks? Because of certain restrictions, scheduled commercial banks like normal banks like SBI, HDFC, ICICI, Union Bank, these kind of banks, they may not penetrate into very rural areas and they may not cater to the small finance like microfinances, some kind of restrictions. So to cater those services, to handle those kind of restrictions, small payment banks are evolved. These small payment banks may do only the priority sector lending activities, house construction purpose and for establishment of kirana shops and for establishment of small dukans, establishment of small agri units. For these kind of activities, the small finance banks may finance. And there are restrictions on lending activities of small finance banks. Out of the entire credit, 75% of the credit must be for priority sector purpose only. There are different definition for a priority sector. We have already uploaded that video regarding priority sector norms which are redefined by RBI. If you see, you can understand what are the priority sector norms. So the small finance banks must cater services to priority sector activities, and 50% of the entire loan portfolio must be the loans which are below 25 lakhs. Means the individual ticket size must be below 25 lakhs. Those ticket size must be 50% of the total loan portfolio. This is the primary criteria for the functioning of the small finance banks. Who can establish the small finance banks? The small finance banks can be established by a person who is having a rich experience in banking, or an organization who is having a rich experience in banking. They can establish this, or professionals, they can establish this small finance banks. Then what is the paid up capital for a small establishment of small finance banks? 100 crores is the minimum paid up capital for establishment of the small finance banks. And whoever promotes the small finance banks, they must having a minimum of 40% paid up capital. However, he must reduce his promoter's portion from the capital to a 26% within 12 years from the date of commencement of the operations of the bank. Otherwise, their license will be cancelled. This is the basic criteria for establishment of the small finance banks. It's a brief outline about the Indian banking system. Hope you can understand about the recent small finance banks and the payment banks. In the next class, we will come up with another new concept. Thank you.